Welcome to Get Strong with Kaizzad. We've finished the chest, shoulders and the back series, and now it's time for the limbs, the upper limbs, the arms. Well, the upper limbs, the arms, broadly comprise of the elbow flexors, which everybody knows as biceps, but there are a lot more elbow flexors than the biceps. But for simplicity, let's call them the biceps. Now, absolutely nothing against people who want to add curls to their workout. But how many curls will you do? There are people who spend an entire workout doing curls. Right now, if you go through YouTube videos or scout through the internet, you'll find some 100 different kinds of curls. But finally, a curl is a curl. It's flexion at the elbow joint against resistance. I'll be showing you, and Kamlesh will be running through all kinds of curls back to back. And I'll prove to you that all those curls are exactly the same. At best, you can finish off your pulling movements, that is, you can finish off your back movements, and at the end of the back workout, you could probably add 3 sets of some really, really heavy curls. Any curl will do. Really, quite frankly, there is no curl that is better than the other. I used to even teach about certain superiority of certain curls, but I no longer believe that. Biceps will grow irrespective of what curl you do. The biceps will actually be growing with your back workouts. Okay, Kamlesh, barbell curl. Everybody knows the barbell curl. And as I mentioned, this video of mine is going to be quite different from the others because I'm not really going to get into specifics. Everybody knows how to curl. Can't get any simpler than that. Now, I'm really not going to get into whether the elbow needs to stay in place. It's an isolation movement. All you do is curl. The easy curl bar. Now it's spelt as EZ curl. It is supposed to be a play with words. It is supposed to make the curls easier, but the Americans, instead of writing EASY, they write E and Z because they pronounce Z as Z. That is why easy curls. So it's an easy curl bar. It's a cambered bar. If you see these, there are bends out here, and instead of your palm being completely supinated, your palm is going to be basically slightly inwards, thus relieving stress on the wrist. The same thing can be done with dumbbells, which is the dumbbell curl. Kamlesh. Now, most of you are aware that dumbbells are curled while twisting them up. Most people actually see people in the gym doing that, but they don't really understand why they're doing it. So basically, he starts off with a hammer grip and ends supinated. So effectively, what we're seeing here is that not only flexion is being challenged, but also supination. Plus, I've already mentioned in my earlier videos about the isolateral advantage. That is the left and right working independent of each other. From the point of view of symmetrical development, dumbbells offers you that advantage, where the stronger side doesn't cover for the weaker side, and the weaker side has to work independent of the stronger side. Within the comparisons of one bicep movement to another, I would consider the dumbbell curl to be superior to the barbell curl, and I would consider the campered easy bar curls to be the most inferior from the point of view of the biceps. The preacher curl basically is done on an apparatus that has a sloping surface. Obviously, this is my gym, and hence I don't keep a preacher curl. I don't think it's necessary, it just takes up space. But since I want to show you what a preacher curl looks like, we'll fashion one out of the incline bench. So basically, you are getting the idea of my complete disregard for bicep movements, and this is what a preacher curl looks like. Finally, again, you're jamming your elbow ahead of the body. You're not allowing the elbow to move, thus creating a stricter movement, but finally the movement remains the same. You can even supinate, that is, start from a hammer position and supinate while you curl. That's it. This exercise is a very, very popular exercise called as the concentration curl. Now obviously this concentration curl needs no concentration whatsoever, but this is the way a concentration curl is done. So you bend over and then you again flex at the elbow with resistance. So basically you're doing a curl. The same curl. Stand up, Kamlesh. Do a curl. At the elbow joint, there is no difference. Where he's standing upright, where he bends down. Turns the direction of the curl. But finally, flexion at the elbow joint is flexion at the elbow joint. Looks different. If you think his hip position or the flexion at his hip joint or the fact that the torso is parallel to the floor is actually making a difference to the biceps, if you really think that the biceps actually knows the difference between a standing curl and a concentration curl, it does not. This concentration curl is something that I specifically want to address because the concentration curl has been mentioned in lots of magazines and other YouTube videos as the perfect exercise for what is called as the peak of the biceps. Kamlesh, give a front double biceps. Flex your biceps. Right. So now you notice that Kamlesh really doesn't have much of a peak. He's got these long biceps. Well-developed biceps, but long. There are some people with a very high peak to their biceps. This peak is really coveted by people. And the people who are genetically gifted to have that peak want to tell other people that the peak was developed because they did concentration curls. So this brings to an end the first episode of the arm series. A bit shocking, I'm sure. But then the truth is the truth. If you want to see more eye-opening, enlightening videos like this, do subscribe to TheHealthSite.com.